Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the chapter 3, dimensional analysis. Actually students, in the previous class we have used some different type of the unit of same quantity. Like velocity we are representing in meter per second, kilometer per hour, centimeter per second. है ना? So, what's the difference here between these units? If you are writing in meter per second, it is also correct. If you are writing in kilometer per hour, it is also correct. If you are writing in a kilometer per minute or the centimeter per second, all are the units are correct. So basically, if you will see the different type of the unit, you have to see that the numerical value which is associated with these three units, it is going to change. है ना? So here in this chapter 3 dimension analysis, we use the one quantity, okay, and the dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which the fundamental units are raised. Again I am repeating the terms here. Remember, the dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which the fundamental units are raised to obtain the derived unit of the quantity. Okay, the powers of the fundamental quantity, fundamental units are raised. In class 6-7 you have studied there are 7 fundamental units are there. Fundamental quantities are there. Actually here we will use only the 3 fundamental quantity: mass, length and time. Okay, mass, length and time. Mass we are representing by capital M. Length we are going to represent by capital L, and the time we are going to represent by capital T. So now again, coming on the definition, dimensions. The dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to be raised. Okay, so here I am taking here that if the dimensions of a physical quantity are A in a length, A in a mass, B in the length and C in time. Okay, so the dimension of that physical quantity will be written like this. In dimension analysis always we are using the square bracket. Okay, rectangle bracket. So it is mass, so it is m to the power a, L to the power b and T to the power c. Understood? So this one is called the dimensional formula of that quantity. Okay, so in this section we are going to see the which type of the quantity has given, and you have to find the dimension, do the dimension analysis on that particular. Okay, so in this one, like this, mass is represented by capital M, length is capital L, time is capital T. Okay, so there are 4 types of the classification of the quantity. Okay, the first is called a dimensional quantity, dimensional variable. Classification of quantities. Classification of quantities. First one is called, okay, so classification of quantities. Okay, actually on the basis of dimension analysis, the quantities can be categorized into 4 groups. Okay, the first one is the dimensional variables. These quantities which are having the dimensional variables, they possess the dimension. They possess the dimensions, and they are liable to variation also. Okay, possess the dimension and liable to variation. Okay, so here I am writing having the variation. The second point is the non-dimensional variables. Non-dimensional means they do not have dimensions. Okay, but they are having the variation. Having variation. The third point is dimensional constants. Okay, so dimensional constant means they possess the dimensions, but no variation. And the fourth one is non-dimensional constants. Okay, that means they do not have dimensions and variation. Okay, so these are the four groups which is based on the dimension analysis. The first one is the dimensional variable. Actually, there is a very huge difference between the variable and the constant. Suppose I am saying the pi. Actually, pi is the constant because its value will never change. Always it will be a 22%. Clear? And there is a no unit. And there is a no unit. Okay. So one I will just I am giving the example of this one. Dimensional variable possesses the dimensions and having the variations. That means velocity having the dimension, and if you will change the value of displacement and the time, then the velocity will be changed. So that velocity you can give the example in the dimension variable, momentum, heat, pressure, okay, all are having the dimensions also, and if you will change the value, that means the quantity having some variations, it will be called dimensional variables. Okay, the non-dimensional variables, they do not have the dimensions but having the variation. Okay, like the Poisson ratio, relative density. Okay, if you change the density of the substance or the density of the water, we cannot change, but the density magnitude or the value of the density of substance, if we will change, then the relative density will be changed, but there is no unit of relative density. Okay, so the relative density, you can give the example of non-dimensional variables. Dimensional constant, that means the quantity is having the dimensions but there is no variation. Okay, the famous example that you can give here, the gravitational constant. The gravitational constant is having the unit but always the value is fixed. Okay, so this is you can give the example of dimension. Another example that you can give, the Boltzmann constant, Planck constant. These type of the constant you will study in class 11 and 12. These 3-4 examples you can give in a dimensional constant. They are having the dimensions, but there is no variation. The fourth point is non-dimensional constant. They do not have the dimensions and they do not have the variations. Okay, like any pure number, like I have given the example of pi. Okay, there is no dimension of pi, and always the values will be constant. Okay, Joule's constant. So these 1-2 examples here that you can give in the classification of the quantities. Okay, now your next topic is principle of homogeneity. Actually, students, in the principle of homogeneity, every equation relating the physical quantity must be dimensionally homogeneous. Must be dimensionally homogeneous. That means the left hand side of the equation should be equal to the right hand side of the equation. Suppose I am just taking the one formula, v is equal to u plus at. Okay, so v is equal to u plus at is if it is a dimensionally homogeneous. That means whatever the unit, whatever the dimensions of you will get for v, the same dimensions you will get for u and at. V is equal to u plus at. That means whatever the dimensions you will get for v left hand side, the same dimensions you will get for u also and at also. Clear? This is called the principle of homogeneity. Understood? Suppose if I am writing A is equal to B plus C. Okay? So it means whatever the unit of A, the same unit is having the B and the same unit is having the C. That means the left hand side of your equation, the same unit is same as the right hand side of the one. Okay, so that means you can say that only the quantities is you can add, you can subtract or equalize which is having the same dimensions. Yeah? Okay, so now I am coming on the next topic. So A is having the same unit, B is also having the same unit as the A is having, and the C is also having the same unit as A or B is having. Suppose if the unit of A is meter per second, then unit of B is also the meter per second and the unit of C is also the meter per second. That means all these three having the same unit. Okay. Now the next topic is uses of dimensional equation. Okay. Okay, so now next topic is uses of dimensional equation. The first point, there are three uses of the dimensional equation. So one by one I am going to discuss here. The first is to convert the units of one system into the units of other system. Like the velocity unit in SI is meter per second and in CGS it is a centimeter per second. The unit of force is Newton in SI system and in CGS system it is a time. Unit of work in SI system is Joule and in CGS system it is erg. So that means what is the relation between 1 Joule and 1 erg? What is the relation between a Newton and a time? Okay, and if suppose that there is a magnitude of the value of the velocity is given 5 meter per second, and if you will convert them into the CGS, so what is the magnitude it will come? So all these type of the questions will come in this section to convert units of one system into the units of other system. So every quantity is having the two things. One is the magnitude and the second thing is the unit. So suppose I am taking the one quantity is P. Okay. So numerical value I am writing by N1, and whatever the unit is associated here it is U1. So this is my first system. Okay, it may be SI, it may be CGS. So it is my first system. And then I am going to convert them into the another unit. So that means the numerical value will change. If it is a 5 meter and you convert them into the centimeter, then you write a 500 centimeter. So that means the numerical value will change. But all these two is related with the same quantity. So P is equal to N1 U1 is equal to N2 U2, and I am giving this equation number 1. Okay. So now in the first topic, I explained any unit we are writing in terms of mass, length and time. Okay. So here the first unit, so if mass I am representing by 1, length I am representing by L1 and time I am representing by T1, and the dimensions of these equations, it is the power, it is A, suppose it is B and it is. Okay. The same thing will become for the second system also. B is equal to N2. Now it is M2 to the power A, L2 to the power B and B to the power C. Okay. So from the equation number 1, N1 U1 is equal to N2 U2. That means these two are equal. That means I can write N1 M1 to the power A, L1 to the power B, T1 to the power C is equal to N2 M2 to the power A, L2 to the power B, T2 to the power C. Okay. So I have to find out this numerical value. Na? So I can write this one, N2 is equal to N1. This is M1 and this one will come in the denominator. So M1A, L1B, T1C upon M2A, L2B, T2C. So M1A upon M2, both are having the same power. Now L1 upon L2, both are having the same power B. T1 upon T2 having the same power C. Okay. So that means if I am going to convert them into any other unit, so I have to write here the magnitude of the numerical value or magnitude of the first quantity, then the ratio of M1 upon M2, L1 upon L2, and then T1 upon T2, and whatever the power, whatever is in this dimension is coming, so that you will write in A, B and C. Yeah. So here I am just taking the one example where I am just converting the one unit, one system, unit of the one system to the unit of the system. So I am just converting here the Newton into the dyne. So actually the Newton is the SI unit and dyne is the CGS unit. So I just going to find out what is the magnitude I will get when I am converting this force, unit of force, from the SI to the CGS. Okay. So students, I am converting this 1 Newton into dyne. Okay. Actually the Newton is the unit of force. So dimension of force is MLT minus 2. So in the first system it is M1, L1 and T1. And in second system, first system means in SI, the second system means CGS. I am just assuming that it's M2, L2 and T2. Clear? And the numerical value which is associated with SI, that is L1, and the numerical value which is associated with, that is M2. Okay. So in the previous chart, I write the first expression, that is N1 U1 is equal to N2 U2. Okay. So that means N1 Actually, it is mLT minus 2. So that means m1 L1 T1 to the power minus 2. N2. Now it is m2 L2 T to the power minus 2. Yeah. So now N2 is equal to N1. M1 upon M2. See here, power is 1, so it is 1. L1 upon L2, again the power is 1, so write L1 upon L2. And it is T1 upon T2, but here the power is minus 2. Clear? Now, N1, this is my N1, 1. So write here 1. Numerical value of first system. Okay, so it is 1. So I am writing here 1. M1. In SI system, mass is representing in kg. M2. Mass in CGS system, we are representing in gram. Length. In SI system, we are representing in meter. And in L2, we are representing in the CGS system, we are representing the length in centimeter. Time in SI and CGS, both is measured in second. So here it is second upon second and to the power minus. Okay. So now here in the numerator it is a kg and gram. Instead of kg, we can write gram. 1000 gram is equal to 1 kg. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. And this second is cancelled. So 1 to the power minus 2 is 1. Now here gram and gram is cancelled, centimeter and centimeter is cancelled. So it is coming 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 2. That is 10 to the power 5. That means N2, it is N2. So N2 is coming it here. So that means 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 Newton. Understood what we have done? 1 Newton is equal to how many times? So 1 is the numerical value of N1. Actually it is a unit of force. So dimension of the quantity force is mLT minus 2. In your first page of your chapter 3, all the dimensions of the quantities is given, at least I think 50 quantities. So you have to learn all this thing, and after the completion of this chapter you are knowing how the dimensions analysis you have to do for any quantity. So here I am taking here mLT minus 2. M is representing the mass, L is representing the length, and the T is representing the time. So in SI unit, mass is M1, length is L1, and T is T1. In CGS system, mass is in M2, length is in L2, and T is T2. Okay, and the numerical value of N1 and N2 in SI and CGS respectively. N1 U1 is equal to N2 U2. That we have done in the previous just before. So U1, this is your U1. So M1 L1 T1 to the power minus 2. Okay, because here it is T to the power. MLT, so M1 L1 T1. If it is in CGS system, it is M2 L2 T2. So here writing M2 L2 T to the power minus 2. Because we have to find the numerical magnitude of the second quantity, this one. So M2 is equal to N1, and this one will come in the denominator. So M1 L1 T1 to the power minus 2 upon M2 L2 T to the power minus 2. So M1 upon M2 having the same power, so it is 1. L1 upon L2 having the same power, so it is 1. T1 upon T2 having the same power, minus 2. Now M1, this one is the SI unit, representing the SI unit. So mass is representing in kg, length is representing in meter, I will meter in second. CGS system, mass is representing in gram, length is representing in centimeter, and time in second. 1 kg is equal to 1000 gram, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So I have substituted the value, centimeter is cancelled there. this 1 is coming from here, this is your n1, so 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 2, and it is 10 to the power, so that is 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. Okay student, second use of dimension equation is to check the correctness of an equation. Okay, the principle of homogeneity we will use to check the correctness of an equation. That means the left hand side of the equation should be equal to the right hand side of the equation. If the both sides, left hand side and right hand side, are same, then the equation is correct, otherwise not. Suppose I am taking the one example here, that is v is equal to u plus, v is representing the final velocity, u is representing the initial velocity, a is acceleration, t is the time. Okay, so v, the dimension of the v is L t minus 1. It is a velocity, so dimensions of velocity is L t minus 1. Okay. Now u, dimension of u is, again it is a velocity, so L t minus 1. Now we have to check the at, the dimensions of at is also the L t minus 1 or not. Okay, so at, so acceleration, the dimensions of the acceleration is L t minus 2 into time, so it will be, now we will solve this one, so L t, it is t to the power minus 2, this is, it is a multiplication, so power will be added, now it is L t minus 1, so here L t minus 1, here L t minus 1, here. So that means my formula is correct. Dear student, the third use of the dimension equation is to establish the relation among various physical quantities. Actually, the students, if you will know the factor on which a given physical quantity may depend, okay, so by using the dimensions we can find a formula which is relating the quantity with those factors. Understood? If we will know the factor on which the given thing is depend, okay, so we can establish the one formula by using the dimension analysis. Okay, so I am just taking here the one example here, and I am going to find out the formula for the time period of a simple pendulum. Okay, so I am just going to find out the time period for a simple pendulum. So first thing that we have to check, this time period will depend on which thing. Okay, so suppose in a question, okay, we know that thing, the time period depend on which factor, time period will do not depend on which factor, because in the previous class we will study this thing. But suppose the things that is given is time period, okay, may depend on mass, length and time, or sorry, acceleration due to brake. So three things I am taking it here. My time period I am representing by capital T. Okay, it will depend on mass, length and acceleration due to mass I am representing by small m, the length I am representing by small l, and acceleration due to gravity I am writing by capital small. Okay, so to establish the relation among these, we are just assuming that the time period will depend on the mass is raised to the power of 3. The length is raised to the power of 3, and the acceleration due to gravity is raised to the power of 6. That means the time period is directly proportional to the m to the power a, l to the power e, and g to the power. So if I am removing this proportionality sign, so it is E is equal to k, m to the power a, l to the power b, and g to the power c, where k is a constant. And when we will substitute the value of a, b and c, okay, that time by the experiment we can substitute the value of k also. Okay, student. Okay. So now we are coming on the dimensions of the mass, length, g, acceleration due to gravity, and we are going to find out the powers of a period. So dimension of time period is capital T. There is no dimension of any constant. So that means k it will be vanished from here. Okay. Now small m, it is representing by mass. So it is capital M to the power. Okay. Very small l is representing the length. So length I am writing right. And where g is representing the acceleration due to gravity. So dimension of acceleration due to gravity is Lt minus 2. In the previous one, V is equal to U plus AT, I explained this one. A means acceleration due to gravity, dimension of acceleration due to gravity is Lt minus 2. So it is coming T m to the power A, L to the power B, and Lt to the minus 2 to the power C. Okay. So now it is T m to the power A, L to the power B plus C. Here also L, and here is also L. So L to the power B into L to the power 6, L to the power B plus C. And T to the power minus 2C. Actually, it is a power to the power, so that means power is multiplied, so it is T to the power minus 2C. Now I am doing the comparison on the both the sides. Nothing is here, so no M, no L is here, so I can write this one like this. M to the power 0, L to the power 0, and I can write this one like this. Because if you are having the power of 0 of any quantity, then the answer will get 1. So just comparison of both the sides. So mass will be compared with mass, length is compared with length, and the time is compared with time. So that means if I am comparing both the sides, A is coming 0, B plus C is coming 0, and minus 2C is coming 1. T to the power minus 2C, T to the power, so that means here it is a 1. So minus 2C is equal to 1, so that means C is equal to minus 1 by 2. Okay? And if C is equal to minus 1 by 2, that means B is equal to 1 by 2. So I am getting that all these values. A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1 by 2, and C is equal to minus 1 by 2. I am just substituting this value here in equation number 1. So now T is equal to A, m to the power A. So A is 0, so m to the power 0. L to the power 1 by 2, B, and G to the power C, that means minus 1 by 2. So m to the power 0, that means it is a 1. So T is equal to A, L to the power 1 by 2 upon G to the power minus 1. So it is a minus, so I am taking in the denominator, so it is coming L1, both power 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means what? K under root L upon G. Okay, so now the last, this is called the dimensions, or you can say the formula for the time period of a simple pendulum. Okay, so by the experiments, on the basis of experiment, the value of K is 2 pi. So now T is equal to 2 pi under root L upon. That means the time period is independent from the mass. Time period will depend on the square root of length and directly proportional to the square root of length and inversely proportional to the square root of G. Okay, so these are the three uses of the dimensional equations. Okay, class. Now your last topic is the limitation of the dimensional analysis. Actually, there are certain limitations behind the dimension analysis. So there are only the three fundamental quantities we are using: mass, length, and time. That means we just only establish a relation, relation between the quantities and the factors on which the quantity will depend, which are having only these three units: mass, length, and time. Understood? So there are some limitations behind it. The one thing, if any dimensionless constant you will get, that you cannot calculate it. Second thing, the physical quantity if depend on more than the three factors, I told you, it will you can establish a relation. You can check the correctness also between only the three values which are having the mass, length, and time. Okay. So if your physical quantity will depend on the more than the three factors, then the relation among them cannot be established. The third point, the equation is containing is a trigonometrical term, okay, or exponential term or the logarithmic terms that you can also analysis. Now the fourth point is the dimension formula may not represent a unique physical quantity. Sometimes if you will check your book, you will get the unit dimension of the work is same as the dimension of torque, but both are in nature both are different. Work is a different thing, torque is a different thing, but the dimension of work and the dimension of torque is same. So this is also the one drawback of the dimension analysis, but there are so many use of this dimension analysis, so that's why we are using this dimension. Okay, class.